All right, we're back in business here after a couple of days. Sue me for taking a couple of days off, boys. We're back in biz. When the lady comes to town, we tend to get distracted a couple of days. So, really, it's not me to blame, actually. No. And you. Appreciate you guys being here and hanging out with me for today. Let's go ahead and get the Twitch started up. There we go. And then let's go ahead and yeah, I think we're good to go. Yeah, nice. Okay. Cool. I think we're good. All right. Without further ado, let's go ahead and just get on into this. So we need to open up our terminal into the chapter 6 programming. Well, hold on, I'll give you a little intro here. Thank you guys for joining me. Welcome back. Today is November the 26th, 2025. Going to be doing some C programming, a modern approach. Jumping back in here to our reading of, or not reading, but our practice of the end of chapter 6. This will be the last part of chapter 6, wrapping up the programming projects. And hopefully we can get through these quickly. And yeah, but I don't know. Hopefully we can get through them all. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this. So we want to go like this. For I in, I'll say 1, 2, how many are there? 12. We're going to say make dir, and we're going to make a dir of chapter 6 programming project here, and then we're going to insert the value of I here. I believe that's what we want, right? No, just chapter, just this. I've been going all over with the formatting here, so chapter 6 programming project index of I. And then we're going to, I haven't quite figured out how to do it yet, but hopefully maybe one of you else can show me. But if we do this and then say, so that'll, good. So now we can do this. We can bring this back and then just say touch. Does that work? No. How did that work? For I in 1 to 12, touch. Oh, because probably we're in the for loop actually. We just commit. Yeah, okay, so we'll touch chapter 6 programming project. We'll insert into here the value of I. Oh, I'm so dumb. There you go. And we'll just throw these guys into their folders here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, no. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, let's get into here. Okay. Just kind of clear some stuff out here. Yeah. All right, let's see what we can do. What's up, Mr. Zen Logic? Welcome in. Appreciate you for joining me again today. All right, so for our first problem, we are going to write a program that finds the largest in a series of numbers entered by the user. The program must prompt the user to enter the numbers one by one. When the user enters 0 or a negative number, the program must display the largest non-negative number entered. Okay, notice that the numbers aren't necessarily integers. Okay, cool. Any deadline? No, I'm trying to see if I can complete this by tonight here. These couple of these problems, they're not too bad. They're just like while loops, but it's the whole setup, getting them going, is writing it up from scratch here is the time-consuming part, really. Or it's just loops here, practicing. So we're going to include the standard I/O. We're going to have int main, and then we're going to void for no parameters. And let's go into here. So we're going to have float num, and then we're going to say while true. I guess we can't say while true, right? Because that's in Python. So we would just say while let's set num. No, because it can be 0, right? So we just need to just run a loop then. So we have to say, like, let me go back in my notes. How do you, I forgot already. How do you, while 1, okay, sorry. Gotcha. So while 1, we're going to do this loop. And then we're going to say, we're going to print f. And we're going to say enter a number, right? And then we're going to scanf here, and then we're going to read this number as a float, and we're going to save this into the value of number. Now, what we want to do is we're going to have another variable called max, right? And we'll set max equal to 0.0 f, right? And then what we'll say is, well, actually, we don't need to do that. Well, yeah, we do actually, because I think so. Hold on. So then we'll say so we get the input into number, right? We say if the num is greater than max, right? Oh, so wait, hold on. We're in C here. If num is greater than the max value, then we're going to set max equal to num, right? And then, well, first if, this is actually going to be an elif, right? Else if, this will be if num is less than or equal to 0, then we're going to break right out of this loop, and then I think, okay, so let's think here. We're finally getting some practice with loops here in C. We haven't gotten much practice yet, so this is good, right? So we're going to continually loop and prompt the user to enter a number. We're going to scan and read that number into the float value of num. If the number that they provide is less than or equal to 0, I guess we'll make it 0.0, right, for some clarity. Meaning that it can be negative or positive, or sorry, if it's 0 or negative, we break out of this loop and we print the largest number, right, outside of this. We're going to print f the largest number entered was, and then we'll put into here %f, and we'll put in max. Right? Am I forgetting anything? So we're going to read a number. We're going to scan that number in. If the number is negative or 0, we're going to break out and print the maximum. Else, if well, I mean, we're going to evaluate if the number is greater than max. And if that is true, then we break out of this. Like, we would just continue, right? Because nothing comes after this. We just keep going until we hit this. I mean, we can always give it a go. Okay, let's see here. So we want to do chapter 6 programming project. This is number 1. And we're going to compile this to this exe. And then let's go here and let's run this guy. Let's just do here. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Let's go. So I guess we can just make this a little bit cleaner, right? Or well, we don't want to necessarily round off things that aren't there, right? So let's give floats this time around. 10 point, oh, I don't know, 38.3, 4.89, 100.62, 75.2295, 162. Interesting. So did it oh, interesting. Interesting. So it did have some values because of that float property, right? Okay, so let's try that again. Let's just do the numbers given exactly. 38.3, 4.89, 100.62, 75.2295, 62003. Yeah, okay, so I guess we would say, I mean, I don't want to truncate these numbers, like, right? I don't want to always, let's just say we have a minimum field width of including the decimal. So we just say 5 here. What does that do? Oh, we have to recompile. 60, 38.3, or whatever, 4.89, 100.62, 75.2295, 0. Okay, so that's just because the minimum, right? So even if the value is smaller, like if it's 0, it would just give me 5 zeros probably. But I don't want to round the value, right? With this formatter, because then it'll cut off things like that. Oh, when you target completing learning C, I don't think there is any target completing learning C. I think it's probably an ongoing process for for a long, long time. Hey, how's it going, Elephant? I appreciate you coming in, and thanks for coming in. You're new here. Awesome. Welcome in. For those who are new, my name is Michael. I'm 26. I'm a biologist. I got my lady friend in the back. She's here with me for the Thanksgiving break. It's nice. I'm a chemist and biologist. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry, and I graduated back in 2021. And yeah, and got a job shortly thereafter at the end of the hiring, where people were still hiring. And anywho, I work as a chemist, and I've been teaching myself how to code for a little over a year now. And right now, we're doing the programming projects from C, programming a modern approach, second edition by K and King. Nice. So so let's ask a question here. Percent F in printf. I don't want to force restrict my decimal, but I don't want the weird float rounding properties C has. Always show 6 digits. And floats will have weird rounding artifacts internally because they're stored in binary, not decimal. Use %G for double float precision. Oh yeah, I forgot about %G. We learned about that one in chapter 2. This is a string. Go 3 here. Yeah, here we go. Displays floating point numbers in either exponential format or fixed decimal format depending on number size. Maximum number of significant digits displayed. To be displayed. Not after the decimal point. Won't show trailing zeros. Okay, so let's do... I don't really want to do... Right. Automatic numbers are trailing of zeros. Either uses fixed or scientific notation depending on size. I don't want to change to scientific notation depending on size, right? Use %F, %*F to dynamically pick precision. If you want more explicit control, I'm not sure what this does. We haven't learned it yet, so I'm not going to use it until we learn it here. Go away. Go away. Okay. So let's instead put a %G here. Do we have to scan it? I think the G works with the float, right? So we say 60, 38.3, 4.89, 100.62, 75.2295, 0, 10.62. Okay, good. Now if we go here and give... Okay, I think that's fine. Alright, we'll use that one. So I'll make a comment here and say used %G as the conversion specifier in printf for clean print, like book example. Cool. Hey, what's going on? No one? How's it going? Tim, welcome back in. Thanksgiving, where's the turkey? We're doing chicken this year. We're doing chicken. We're doing chicken this year, huh? Okay, number 2. Let's keep rolling. Number 2. Okay, cool. Write a ooh. Okay, come on. Write a program that asks the user to enter 2 integers and then calculates and displays their greatest common divisor. Enter 2 integers, 12 and 28. Greatest common divisor is 4. Hint: the classic algorithm for computing the GCD, known as Euclid's algorithm, goes as follows. Let m and n be variables containing 2 numbers. If n is 0, then stop. If n is 0, then stop. M contains the greatest common denominator. Otherwise, compute the remainder when m is divided by n. Copy n into m and copy the remainder into n. Then repeat the process starting with the testing whether n is 0. Okay. Okay, wait. I think we can do it. We're going to include the standard io.h header file here. We're going to go into main void here. We're going to, I guess, have 2 variables where we're going to take in 2 integers for n and m. We're going to say while n is not equal to 0, right? So while n is not equal to 0, then stop. Compute okay. So we want to let m and n be variables containing 2 numbers. If n is 0, then stop. M contains the greatest common denominator. So we're going to return m at the end of this function, right? Or say we'll insert m into here. All right. For real, Tim. Yeah, for real. Okay, so we want to continually compute the remainder when m is divided by n. So we're going to say m mod n, and we're going to say copy n into m and copy the remainder so n becomes m becomes n, and what was it? Copy the remainder into n. Yeah, and then n becomes the remainder. Like this. So then this will continue the loop. Okay. I think that this might do it. Let's try it. need to copy this over. Okay, well then we'll take this and go 2 and 2 here. Okay, that's good. That compiled at least. I'll take oh, not chapter 2. Sorry, chapter 6. Project 2. Greatest common denominator is 1. Oh, we're not even getting inputs, so hold on. So we need to say printf. We didn't even get input. Trolling, dude. Enter 2 integers. We're going to insert, we're just going to do this. Yeah, and then we're going to call scanf and insert them in this form. And save them in N and M. See what happens. I don't know. We'll find out. Oh, whoops. 28. Oh, let's go. We did it. Nice. I didn't think we were going to do it that first try. That's awesome. Let's say the greatest common divisor. We'll just insert the value there. Cool. That's awesome. I am surprised I got that first try. Look at that. This is C Programming, a Modern Approach, second edition by K.N. King. Hey, we're 8 subs away from 3,900 subs, y'all. That's crazy. I think we can hit it this stream. We got 16 people in here right now. I appreciate everybody joining me. So if you aren't subscribed, get us up to 39, huh? How about it? Well, sorry, dudes. The face cam gotta be somewhere, man. Here, I'll scoot the book over a little bit more. Or wait, I'll do this because we don't need all of that showing. Where'd I go? I went way up here. What the heck? What happened? Whoa. Jumped way up here. Chapter 4. Chapter 6. Ah, there we go. All right. Oh no. No. Stay there. All right, that's good. Bring this over. Cool. And then I guess I'll just move the chat just over the top here, like so. There we go. Nice. Nice. All right, cool. Let's keep rolling. Thank you. Appreciate that. I just used this little Dr. Plumber. Were you here earlier? I just used this little bash. I don't know. Is it bash script? Just this guy here, where you can use a for loop in your terminal here to just create these files and do a touch over them, and then do a make dir. Now, to do a make dir and then a touch and nest them together, I haven't quite learned that yet. I need to learn that one, but I know the two separate functions. Two separate. We're getting there. All in good time though. All right. Appreciate everybody being here. I see you learn and see the via book. That's a true chat away. Thanks, Frumpy. I appreciate that. That's funny. That's funny. I'm getting called Chad over here, Gina. Yeah, we're coding C and C programming, a modern approach. We're doing these chapter 6, end of chapter 6 programming projects. So I appreciate you guys being here. Um, let's go ahead and keep going here. We just finished this one, number 2, which wasn't that bad. It kind of gave us the formula for it. So you just repeatedly find the remainder and swap the values and go down until I think that this is right. Let's get some feedback. This is my code for chapter for um, greatest common denominator. Don't write code. Just give some feedback on my learning C. You're doing really well. Honestly, you're ahead of it too. Awesome, cool. Are exactly the right level. Many beginners mess this up early on. You clearly understand how to pass and trust, how this works. Cool. It's just gassing me up here. All right. So I think we're good. Let's go on to the next one. Number 3. Okay, cool. Let's roll here. Write a program that asks the user to enter a fraction and then reduce the fraction to lowest terms. To reduce the fraction to lowest terms, first compute the greatest common denominator of the numerator and denominator, then divide both the numerator and denominator by the greatest common denominator. Okay, this is that we can use this loop from before then. So let's do this. Let's include the standard io.h like always. And then I feel like if you open a C file, it should just automatically include this. But I don't know. I feel I wouldn't be mad. Maybe some people would if you don't use it after a while. I don't know. Okay, let's get into here. So we're going to ask the user to enter a fraction with the printf statement. So we're going to say enter a fraction, right? And then we're going to keep the cursor right next to it so it stays there. We're going to use scanf to read some values into memory, which are going to be int numerator and denominator, respectively, right? And then we're going to say, we're going to read these as here, and we're going to need to do this here, and then read these in numer and denom, and then save these into memory here, like so. Okay, and then what we're going to want to do is use our GCD function from before. So I know we haven't learned about functions, but it seems kind of, is it wrong of me to like use a function here? I know the book hasn't talked about it. I think it'd be bad. I mean, we don't have to. We can just take this, right? Let's just take this over into here. And then what we want to do is compute the greatest common denominator between the numerator and the denominator. So while the numerator is greater than 0, now the thing is I don't think I want to override the numerator value. So I'm just going to save n here, and then I'm going to save numer. I'll say int n is equal to numer here, whatever the user puts in. Right, so we can just get a copy of it here. Well, actually, does this copy the memory address and reference the same data point? Well, if we reduce, if we reduce the numerator down all the way, the return value is already the reduced down numerator, the greatest common denominator. And so I think we just have to divide the numerator by that value. I don't think I can do this. is this saving a, this is not saving a copy, this is just pointing n to the value. Well, maybe not. Maybe I'm not going like this, right? I'm not, um, oh, 26. Thanks for coming in. So, I don't think I can do this. Because then this returns, at the end, this returns m, which is the greatest common denominator. Right. So, if we have, right, and we say that, well, let me do this. Let me call printf. Let me say OG. Let's just debug it. Let's see. Let's put in here. Let's say OG denominator. And let's put in this guy. And then let's do n that gets reduced down. And then we'll throw in m as well. Why not? So we'll throw in here the numerator, the denominator, demom. We'll throw in n, and we'll throw in m. I don't think that this is gonna work, but we can definitely give it a try. Oh, I'm tired of doing this. Give me this guy. Give me. Number three. Chapter 6. So we want to enter like 612s. 612, 0. Okay, cool. So we still keep our numerator. Our n value goes all the way down. And our least common denominator is, our greatest common denominator is 6. Cool. Perfect. So it does retain, it does copy the value of numer into a new value or variable of n, right? It doesn't, we're not pointing to the memory address of numer and referencing that with an alias of here. Would that be doing this? What happens if we did that? No, you can't do that. Int char with an expression. So if I did a star here, would that work? I'm just messing around here for fun. But n is not a path here, right? So n we need to n is it a pointer variable that you have to do? Yeah, but n is a pointer, right? Okay, yeah. So that's why you can't do operations on a memory pointer, right? Okay, got you. Because it's a. Okay, so that's interesting. I just wanted to try to mess around with that, even though we haven't really formally learned that yet in this book. We learned about it a little bit in CS50, but they gave pretty kind of just bare bones explanation. It's not really that useful for real world stuff. Okay, let's compile here. Okay, I think this works. So now what we're gonna do I'm gonna comment out that. Let's go ahead and say we're just gonna do print f here and say in lowest terms, and insert here %d, or we'll just actually we can insert yeah, we have to do the expression actually with the specifier if we're going to do expressions. So we can just actually directly insert here the expression of right, the numerator divided by m. This will be denominator divided by m. Will that work? Let's go. Let's go. Come on. We on a roll. Who do you think you are? I am. You guys seen that video? Like that one. Nice. Cool. That's awesome. It creates a copy. Okay, gotcha, you're a doctor. Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. You would need pointers to point to the same memory. Got you. Interesting problem. I haven't seen this one before. Yeah, it was a cool one. It was a fun one. Just getting some practice here with loops in this chapter. Okay, cool. I think we're ready to move on to number 4 here. Nice. Cruising along. Let's keep rolling. Rolling, 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 roll, 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 roll. I'll keep that in there just so we can keep that ready to go. Okay, here we go. Number 4. Add a loop to broker.c program of section 5.2 so that the user can enter more than one trade and the program can calculate commission on each part, on each. The program should terminate when the user enters 0 as the trade value. Oh, come on. Okay, so I think in chapter 5, I hate when it asks us to go back. I don't like going back. Just keep me in the flow here. It just kind of breaks the flow. Okay, chapter 5. We're looking for broker.c here of 5.2. 5.2 if statements, conditionals. 5.3. There we go. Okay. Okay, here's our logic for broker.c. So let's go ahead and get into this one. So we're going to include the standard io.h header file. We're going to do a main function, and we're going to come into here. So we're going to continually prompt the user to enter a what? What did it want? I don't want to go all the way. See, this is why I hate, because I don't want to scroll all the way back. Let me do this. This is our logic here for broker C. Let's go back to 6. Okay, sorry guys. Here we go. Okay, we want to enter the value of a trade and calculate commission. Okay, so we're going to say printf to enter value of trade. Yeah. And we're going to receive this in a integer. We're going to say int value. We'll have that be there. But this is going to be within a loop, right? So we need while here, and then if they enter 0, we break. Well, what if I do this? While value is not equal to 0, right? And we take value outside, right? And then what if we open this, take this out, go into here. So what if we say this and we set value equal to null at the start, right? It's not 0, but it's null, which I don't think will evaluate this to true. Or I don't even think just having value undeclared or uninitialized but defined will evaluate this to true, right? It's actually no value here. Okay, so this will enter. And then what we can say is we're going to calculate a commission, basically. So we're going to do a comment here to say calc commission. And then we're going to printf to commission here is this with a percentage here to commission. And then we're going to take int commission here, which I guess it actually can be a float technically. Well, value can actually be a float as well. Right. So we'll say float commission, and then we'll calculate it here. We'll take this. Oh, I can't do that, so we'll have to type it. Dang it. If the value is less than 2,500 in float, we're going to set the commission equal to, not less equal to 30 float plus 0.17 float times the value. Now I'm going to copy this down twice. Oh shoot, got that on accident. We'll say else if the value is greater than or equal to 2,500 float, right? And this right side also has to be true of the value is less than 60 to 50 float. So it's in this range, but not equal to the top end of the range. So kind of like a Python range. We're going to set the commission equal to $56 base times a factor of 0.066. This is 0.017 float. And then else if here the value is greater than or equal to the 6,500, 65,250, right? And the right side, which is value, is greater than 20 grand. 4 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, yep. Ooh. We're going to set commission equal to 76 base. Why is it doing that? Come on. Stop trolling me here. 76 base with a multiplication factor of this, and a value on the value itself. And then we're going to print the commission here. I think it's good. Oh, we need a scanf. Scanf. We need to read. What am I doing? Trolling you guys. So now I think we can run this, potentially. Well, if these are enter 0, we break and just stop. Okay. Ah! Chapter 6, programming project for EXE. I'm going to test it here. Let's say 30,000. No! Zeros, really? Really, really, really? That's interesting. What did I do wrong? Plus $30. Really? What? Oh, because, yeah. Oh, interesting, right? Because it's going to read the value and then keep going and not evaluate this until we come back, right? So, I mean, we don't want to use a do while either because we don't want to do it once automatically because what if they enter 0 on the first entry? We don't want to calculate commission off 0. So we just have to have an if the value is equal to 0. Right? Oh, I mean, we can go ahead and break, right? And then we can say else if here. Now, why though, when we did a value, did we get zeros? I think I can do this. $0. Where's my bug? Not gonna look at chat yet. You guys probably know where it's at, but I'm gonna try to find it here. Going bug hunting. Ah! Keep forgetting. Zero. So it is 0. It's not reading my scan value. It's not getting it. Why? Is it because it has to be an integer? I don't think so. That doesn't make any sense. That's a float. I think I can scan in a float. Why is it reading in a 0? Think. Okay, got that. No way. But it's not calculating a commission. Okay, so it's now the scanf is reading. But the value is less than 2,500. We should be calculating commission here. Ah, come on, Mike, you can figure this out. So obviously we do need, just gonna get rid of this print. So we're getting our value. Okay. Now is it doing, what is going on, dude? Why is it deciding to work all of a sudden and what is going on? Oh, well, this is, oh, that's why I'm so dumb. This is 30 grand. 30 grand is greater than these values. So it's not going to print a commission. That's why. No dir. Is that really what's going on in this expression? Why would they want, what do we... If the value is greater than or equal to 620 and less than 20,000, then you calculate this and so on and so forth. Oh, I think there's more to the thing. I might, oh, this, I'm so dumb, dude. That's why I hate the scroll back problems, because I don't want to go back and forth. I'm going to blame it on the problem. It's just in our logic, right? It calculates commissions, but we're missing the next couple of logic for the other transaction sizes. Here they are. Come on, dude. Oh, wow. That was user error, big time. User error. Okay, so that's so annoying. Sorry, you guys. Okay, so we left off on this one, 20,000. Okay, so if it's between 20,000 and 50,000, we compute this here. No, here. Yeah, okay, so let's say if it's 20 float and 50,000 here, we compute 100 with a multiplier 0.0022 times the value. If we're between 50,000 and less than no. Wait, hold on. For less than 2,500 we do 30. For less than 6,500 we do 56. And for less than 20,000 we do 76. If we're less than 50,000, we do the 100. Oh, this is 500,000. I'm getting, it's been a long week. It's been a short week, but it's been a long week. So the value is between 50,000 and 500,000. We're going to do a commission of $155 base with a factor of 0.0011 times the value. Else, right, we're going to do a commission equal to 255.00 float plus 0.0009 float times the value, and do that. Now, if the commission is less than 39, then it's just this. Why not just have why not have this just be a part of your chain here and break out early? Why have this be its separate thing, having to go through this and then realize, oh, it's actually less than all of these? Well, this would evaluate to true, actually, and then it would hit this and override. But why even do that in the first place? Why not just have this be inserted into this if-else chain? Right? That seems kind of silly. So, like, else if the value... Oh, that's the commission. I'm so dumb. So, right, else if the commission itself doesn't meet the base requirement, if the commission itself is less than 39.0 float, then we're going to set commission equal to 39.0 float, and then print that. So now, if I stop trolling and actually use my brain, I think we'll get this. Let's scroll down here. Sorry, you guys are probably like itching to tell me I'm wrong here for me to read the chat. So sorry. I'm trying to get through that without getting spoiled. I'm trying to be a good debugger. All right, we want to do 30,000 for our first test. 166. Let's go. 20,000. Let's go. Ooh, let's go. Okay, cool. Let's catch back up on the chat here. Sorry, you guys. Can I get the starter files? Yeah, these are in my GitHub. Link down in the description below. All of it is all my notes, and for everything I do on the channel is in my GitHub and in my Discord, all for free. Hello guys. Hey JRag Dev. Hello guys in physics, web development, TypeScript, and Python. Nice, awesome, dude. Welcome in. One sub away from 3,900. Yeah, we hit 3,900. Woo! Let's go. That's hyped. I'm hyped. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much for 3,900. We're on the way to 4K. My goal was 5K by the end of the year. That was what I've been grinding for, and I think we're going to be able to hit that. So thank you guys so much for being here, and we're going to keep grinding almost every single day, teaching ourselves computer science and programming through reading books, building projects, live, completely like original and the authentic way, trying not to use AI and not vibe code, and just do our own work, our own coding, our own things, and sticking to those roots for learning. And if we can, when we can expand out from there, we will. But until then, we're gonna get our strong foundation of actual computer science and programming before we, have things do things for us. Cool. Let's keep rolling. Sorry, Ice Engine. Yeah, you don't need curly braces for just singular statements after the expressions. if you have multi-statements or compound statements, you would need that. But it's perfectly satisfactory to do this, and it's customary to do a little indentation, hence kind of like has a little similarity to Python. It's delimited by the semicolon. That's the thing here is the statements are delimited by the semicolon. So the computer will read this. If that evaluates it true, it'll break out of all of that, right, and then evaluate that rather than continuing on. It's delimited by these, which makes it kind of. I used to kind of think that was kind of annoying, but I'm coming to kind of like it a little bit. Anyways, let's keep rolling here. Hey, yes, W's in chat for the solved problem. How long have you been programming in C? We just we did a CS50 like the CS50X at the beginning of 2025. We did that for the 3 months. We finished that in March. And we took a little bit of a break from C and we did some more Python programming and LeetCode grinding and reading in some other books, algorithm and stuff studies. And then we are back in C because I want to dive deeper. And I felt like I'm just missing more stuff about the computer. Like yes, I was kind of learning about how to code and about functions and be able to write kind of my own kind of software, not albeit like just kind of mosh posh and a bunch of spaghetti code probably, but some cool stuff like my stock option engine I'm kind of been building and stuff like that on the side, and our cool projects that we have like the SpectroSim and ChromaPlot and stuff. But I just felt like I was missing a lot of information about what the computer is actually doing, and how I was interacting with it. And this is helping to bridge that gap. It's been actually quite nice. And I've actually learned a lot more about the actual computer than I have in the entire year I was learning Python. In just these short few weeks, I was learning C. Honestly, like learning about the brief intros to memory and binary and stuff we've had have really solidified actually that kind of just surface dust level that you get in all these other resources. So number 5 here. Let's keep pushing. We are falling behind here. We got to keep it rolling. Number 5. Programming Project 1 in Chapter 4 asks you to write a program that displays a 2-digit number with the digits reversed. Generalize the program so the number can have 1, 2, 3, or more digits. Use a do loop that repeatedly divides the number by 10, stopping when it reaches 0. Write a program that prompts the user to enter a number. Okay, so we just have to reverse a number and repeatedly grab all the digits and reverse them. And print them out. Okay, I think we can do this. So let's go include the standard io.h header file here. Let's go int main void. Let's open this up. So we're going to do the following actions. We're going to first get input from the user, right? So we need to say enter a number, or also enter an integer. Yeah, also right. Then we'll play scanf and we'll read this number and we'll save it in num. Let's go up to the top here. We'll initialize a num variable, or declare it, sorry, and it'll be initialized in the scanf here. So we're going to do the following. We're going to do remainder. Int remainder is equal to num mod 10. This will shave off the last digit of magnitude, right? Of each time, lowering by by 10 each time, right? Dividing by 10. Right, lowering an order of magnitude each time for the number and giving us the smallest order of magnitude digit itself, right? So what we can do is then I think what we can do is just call printf and not use \n and just insert the remainder, right? And then we can do this while num is greater than 0. Or should I say not equal to 0? I mean, I think it'll work for negatives as well, right? If it's greater than 0. I'm not sure. And then can I just call return 0 here? So this will get the number, save it into here. This will do this, print the value of the remainder each time in order. And then I guess we can print f a \n here, just for formatting's sake. And then I think that's fine. We'll give it a try. Let's take this guy out of here, bring it into here. Number 5 here. Let's do / chapter 6 programming project. Enter a number. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. Because we're not actually saving number as a value, right? We need to decrement number down and resave it, right? So number is going to equal to num divided by 10. Yeah. Dubs. All right. Let's go with some dubs in chat for that one. Sorry, we gotta get some music going. I forgot about the tunes, you guys. We've been sitting here in silence. My bad. My bad. Oh, I blew out my ears so loud. Holy crap, that was so loud. Let's go, Nicholas. Yes, what's going on? How's your programming in Python? It's about intermediate level. We have some good fundamental understanding of, object-oriented programming. Being able to make our own classes, implement those classes. Class methods. Instance methods. All that kind of static methods. All the dunder methods. Operator overloading. We've learned about lambda functions and list comprehensions and a bunch of functions as objects, being able to use functions as objects within like dictionaries and stuff that we learned about kind of in the middle of our Fluent Python reading in that book that's on the channel. We still are going in that book, but I just felt like I said, I was just missing more information about the computer than I was wanting, and I wanted to learn more about it. So that's why I decided to keep going with to C here, but I do want to keep going in Python. I've been coding in Python in my off stream in my stock option stuff project, but I've been doing mainly C learning right now on stream for content wise. Okay, let's keep rolling. Number 6, write a program that prompts the user to enter a number n, then prints all even squares between 1 and n. For example, the user enters 100, the program should print the following 4, 16, 36, 64, and 100 even squares. Okay. So we're going to include the standard io.h header file. We're going to int main void, open this up, right? Write a program that prompts the user to enter a number n. And then, okay, so we're going to do printf, enter a number, and we're going to save this number in an integer of number. We'll say num, just for simple, to keep it easy. Or we're going to read this into data, into memory.
And then we're going to save this into number. We want to, while print all even squares. So 4, 16, 36, 64, 100. Between 1 and n. So 1 even squares. What does that even? Sorry, I'm kind of lost here. Prints all even squares between 1 and n. So if n is 100, we start at 1. 1 to the power of 1 is, I mean, that's not an even square. What? Kind of confused on the verbiage of this. Right, 1 power 2 is just 1. So why is that not included as an even square? Is because the value is uneven. 1 power 3 gives us just 1. Oh, do we take the number 1 to n and then compute squares of those values? So like 1 squared, right? 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, and that's where, oh, got you. Okay, I get you. So we compute in the range of 1 to n all the values, square in the values of I, the ith values, the ith number squared, and if that number is even, we keep it. Got you. Okay, not too bad. So we'll say, and then, so we'll use a for loop, I think here is probably a better way to do it. So we'll say for, we'll say int I, and we'll say while I is less than num, let's increase I by 1. Look at us remembering how to use a for loop in C. We're going, not plus equals, plus plus. So what we're going to do, we're going to compute a int power, or we'll say int squared is equal to, right, just I squared, right? We're going to say if squared modulo by 2 is equal to 0, we're going to printf to the squared value, right? Itself here. If it's not, we're going to just continue the loop forward, which we don't have to really specify anything, right? So I think that's it. We're gonna get a number from the user by saying print enter number. We're gonna scan that number into the num variable from memory, in memory. We're gonna loop over I up to n. We're gonna print the square, and then at the end of this, we're going to print f actually n, right? Like so. And it looks like it prints it on new lines. So we want to do that as well. Right. Let's give it a try. Why not? Oh, that's still in my clipboard. Let's go. This is number 6. Number 6. Oh no. Indirection requires pointer operand. Oh, I can't pow this operator, right? I can't use this. This is not an operator in Python in C. So I just do no, it's squared, right? Even squares. Um, yeah, which is just the value times itself, right? No, but it should be always times 2 to the power of 2. Oh, crap. Here we go. Okay, so how can we compute the power without the pow function? Are we going to have to use another loop here to take the value and do it twice? By itself twice? No, am I just being dumb, dude? Is it? It's just... No, because it's 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared, which is... Oh, yeah, I'm so dumb. What am I doing? It's just I times I, no? So dumb, dude. I'm thinking about this way too hard. I don't know why. Yeah, it's just I times I, right? I was thinking, because I was like, I don't know why, for some reason in my mind, I was thinking, oh, we have to use the number 2, but it's not, when you're going increasing numbers, but it's just, the 2 has nothing to do with this, the number times it, how many times itself, right? That's the key nature of exponents. Bro, come on, what is it, Algebra 1? Come on, man. Just trolling myself. Okay, let's try this again. Let's do this. No. Up to 100. Oh, it doesn't want to. Okay, sorry. It doesn't want to go up to 100. We'll say if I becomes greater than or equal to, becomes greater than number. Now this is for all the times you enter this loop. You don't want to break, right? So we actually don't want to do that. It doesn't really matter the condition of the loop. All right, well, can we just do this? While the actual square of I is less than the number. I think that might work. I mean, we're computing the square twice, but oh well. Yeah. It's whatever. It's like, it's not that big of a deal, right? It's just 2 O of 1 computations together, but it's a little bit redundant, but whatever. Now, John, wouldn't it be, you have to compute the power itself, not I less than or equal to number, because I is not what we're evaluating on stopping up until here, right? It's the actual power up until 100. Between 1 and n, all the squares, right? So if we find a square that exceeds n, the value of number. We don't want to go over there. So we have to evaluate the square to get this, right? Oh, that's probably a good little point. Cellophant, that's probably a good point, right? Oh, int equals 1 here. Yeah, because we start at 1. Now, you're saying if we skip... so we know that 1 isn't going to print here, so why even do it? Like, what if we just did 2? I mean, it's kind of annoying. And then if you did just, like this, right? Could you just do this? And then, oh, let's actually, before we do that, let's see if we can just comment out this. And then just do this. Let's see what happens. Oh, I need this. Yeah. Ah, nice. Right? Interesting. Okay. Cool. So we could even do this. We could set int I equal to 2 because we don't even need to compute the 1 because 1 to the power of 2 is always not going to be one of a square, right? That we're going to print here, an even square, I mean. We can increase by 2 like our boy Cellophant, CC Elephant mentioned, to actually just skip odd ones altogether. Or the ones that would not be included. And then, yeah, boom. Let's go. Yeah, it might be equals to Arius because if we want up until what if the power is what if it is 64, right? Like what happens if we do this and then we also keep this? We might get 64 twice actually, right? Let's do 64 here. Yeah, we get 64 twice. So we can either exclude this print statement and keep it as equal to, or keep the print statement and exclude it here. But because it wants it between 1 and n, I guess we'll include it and we'll exclude the print at the bottom. So now that's even more optimized. So now if you give an even square, you don't double print it, you actually include it in this num here for this loop here, and you don't have to do an arbitrary print of the actual number. Nice. Nice. Now we started with Python for the first year and a half, and now we've transitioned into C to start diving deeper into computer science and actually starting to figure out, the computer and how we can manipulate it a little bit more and maybe get some hardware stuff and graphics and cool stuff like that. I want to see what we can do. I don't really shy away from the math stuff. I kind of like it. I think math is really interesting. It's hard and difficult. Like I was a lot better at it as a kid. I'm not gonna lie. Like I definitely picked up and remembered things a lot easier in math, like in high school and elementary, middle school. But I definitely want to challenge myself to keep going with math and learn some of these, more, these algorithms and stuff to do or whatnot. I think it'd be fun. Okay, let's keep on pushing here. Number 7. We're doing good here. Rearrange square3.c program so that the for loop initializes I, tests I, and increments I. Don't rewrite the program in particular. Don't use any multiplications. Okay, square 3.c. Square 3 dot. Did it tell me a? Oh, thank you so much for the sub. Appreciate you so much for subscribing. We gained a lot today. We went up from like 3890 to 3903. So we've been. Thank you guys so much for all the support. My name is Michael. I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry, and I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company. And I've been teaching myself computer science and programming for a little bit now, about a year and a half, almost every single day after my job and on the weekends and stuff, trying to do my best to learn and see what we can do and see what kind of, I don't know, see if we can push ourselves, I guess. Okay, so our goal is to rewrite this to do something with a for loop instead. So we'll see here what we can do. Okay, so this prints a table of squares for this. Oh, okay. So I'm gonna screenshot this so we can go back to our problem from below. So it wants us to rearrange this so the for loop initializes I, tests I, and increments I. Don't rewrite the program in particular, okay. So let's kind of just rewrite what we have so far. So we don't want to include in I here, so this is going to say n, odd, and square. We're going to call printf to this program, prints a table of squares, and then we're going to printf enter a number of entries in table. And then we're gonna go ahead and say scanf and read this here into memory as the variable n. Okay, so we're gonna have odd equals to 3 is initialized, and we're gonna say for int I. We initialize this, and I don't think we need to do we could probably remove the square, put I and square together here, right, set them both equal to 1. Can I combine them together into like a parenthesis and set them both equal to 1 with one statement? Like I parenthesis or parenthesis I comma square parenthesis equals 1. So they both get set with just one statement. We're gonna say now our goal here is to initialize test I and increment I in this loop. Okay, so well, it's already testing I here for us, so I don't think we have to do anything. So I think that this, like we can do this, right? And then just call printf. Well, with this, I think we got to do this. Like that. So does that do it? Let's find out. 7 here, and 7. Nice. Okay, let's enter in an example here. Okay, now we're not doing any of the logic. Okay, now we just need to add in the logic of this guy here, right? So this goes I plus equals and square plus equals by odd. One, 4, 9, 16, 25. There we go. All the way up to 100. Nice. Perfect. I think that's it. All good, Trickster. I'm still reading these too. Where do you get these problems from? These are in the back of the each of these chapters for C Programming: A Modern Approach, 2nd edition. You can either look this book up online, or I have a copy provided with a link in my Discord, attached to and then my notes here. All this information is on my GitHub, so I have up to 6 chapters with detailed notes, giving very good Spark notes over the entire thing of each chapter with good, screenshots from the text and definitions, as well as the answers to the exercises and practice projects from the end of each chapter. So we're about to wrap up chapter 6 here, and then we'll be moving on to chapter 7 tomorrow. Cool, that was number 7 here. Let's keep pushing here. We're almost there. 8. Almost there, you guys. Write a program that prints 1 month calendar. The user specifies the number of days in the month and the days of the week on which the month begins. Enter the number of days in the month, 31. Enter the starting date, day of the week. 1 equals Sunday, Saturday equals 7, 3. This program isn't as hard as it looks. The most important part is a for statement that uses a variable I to count from 1 to n, where n is the number of days in the month, printing each value of I. Inside of the for loop, the if statement tests whether I is the last day in a week. If so, it prints a new line character. Yeah, I don't think this is that bad. We'll include the standard io.h header file, and we're going to int main void. Let's open this up. We're going to prompt the user printf for enter number of days in month. We're going to call scanf and read this in as days. Come up here, we'll have int days, and we're also going to have start. We're going to come here, do another printf here for enter starting day of the week. 1 equals to Sunday, 7 equals to Saturday, and we're going to do that there. We're going to scanf to read this in, and we're going to do the this as start. Cool. Nice. Let's say if days if days is less than 1, or days greater than 31, we're going to printf error invalid number of days, right? We don't have to have these error checks, but it's just good practice. Else if the start is less than 1, or start is greater than 7, we're going to do a similar error statement, invalid start date. Start date. Cool. So else, if you clear this, we're going to do our little for loop, right? So we're going to say for int I, while I is less than the number of days, but we're going to do less than or equal to days, and then we're going to go I plus plus. Let's open this up. So we're going to say while start yeah, we could say while start. Let's open this up and say we're going to call printf to just a blank space, two blank spaces, two character spaces, right? And then we're going to say start less equal 1. So this is going to print start spaces for us. Now if I while start is greater than 1, right? Because we want to stop when start is 1, because that's the day we want to first put the number 1, right? So we'll print the number of spaces in start automatically with this loop, reducing start down until we reach 1. At that point in time, we're going to print out the day of the week, right? So let's worry about the formatting later for that part. Let's just print f here the actual value of I here. We'll insert I, and then we'll make this a field width of 2. Right. So let's just see what happens here. Oh. Ah. Oh, I'm in the wrong. Let's just see what happens here. Oh, whoops. Not commas. About. Oh, come on. Syntax errors for days, Mike. Ah, trolling. I didn't actually do it. Okay. That actually doesn't work. Why? What's the number of days? Well, maybe should I just do the printing of the spaces at the beginning? Like, should I not do it nested in the loop? So just say while start, we're gonna print spaces, right? And then we're gonna print days of the week, incrementing I until we reach less than or equal to the number of days. That's still a prints infinite loop, so well, it's clearly like printing something, right? Hmm. Hmm. Um. Hmm. So why we're gonna print this, and then we're gonna print looks like we print a space in between, right? As well. So, well, first, why is this giving me an infinite loop? What happens if I comment out this? Huh. I didn't think it was that. What are these values? What am I doing wrong here? What's going on? Int I less than or equal to days, I plus plus. Oh, that's right. Right? We actually give I a value of 1. I didn't know what I was. It was just printing garbage values. Oh, okay, I get it. I see. So now if we run this. 3. Gotcha, perfect. So now we get these guys. Perfect, okay. Now what we're gonna say, if I is less than, if I mod 7 is equal to 0, meaning this is a multiple of 7, then we're going to go to a new line, right? But we want to do that when? That's after the print? Yes. But no, we only actually go to 5. Oh, we only have 7 spaces to print. So if I... Okay, got you. Okay, so interesting. So there's actually how many columns? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. So there's 35 potential spots total. Got you. It's the last day in a week. It's the 3rd day in the week. This is actually a little bit trickier than I thought. Right, so we would print. What if instead we just use the fact that there's going to be a standard 35-day grid, and we can fill in spaces at the beginning and fill in spaces at the end, right? Using I to our advantage. So if we say I is equal to 1, yeah, this is what we can do. So we'll say I is equal to 1, while I is less than 35. We can plus plus. We'll print I. We'll say if I is equal to 7, if I mod 7 is equal to 0, right, we're going to printf a \n to move to the next line, right? Now the thing is we need to print not the value of I, but the value of I less than the start. When you say if start, right, we're going to say, I'm going to save start copy is equal to start. If start copy, right, we're going to printf to 2 blank spaces, right, and then reduce start copy down by 1. Else we'll do this here. So what we'll do is we'll have a 35-day grid mapped out. We're going to first print all of the values of the start. So if start copy is greater than 1, we're going to go into here and reduce it down to 1. And then we're going to print I less than the start, right? Because I will have incremented up through the start. So this might be start minus 1, right? Because it's 1 less than the start. And then if it's a end of the week, we're going to print a new line. Else, we're going to printf just a space, right? We want to space these out by a space. I think that'll work, right? So let's give it a go. Oh. Oh, one after the other here. Oh, close. Okay, so now once we reach the end of the month, once we reach, right, if, so we need to reduce down, we need to print the start less than 1 again, right? So at the end of this loop, so if we say if I is greater than, no, because that goes into here, so here, if I is greater than the days, then we're going to print f to a two blank spaces. Else print f to this guy. This is always printing this. if I is greater than days, then we're going to print a blank space. No, so the thing is we need to print the character we need to print the character no, so we print all of the spaces. Okay, we got 3 spaces. 1, 2. Let me just say space. Let me just make some filler stuff like this so I can see it a little bit better. Okay, right, so it prints actually 2 instances of this. Great. And then a space, and then onto the day here. Well, it's just printing this here. Now it's reaching, if I'm on 7 here, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Why is it printing the \n early here? Let me do this. Let me print 0.2f there so I can see it with the zeros in front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So why is it printing? Oh, on the 7th one, it's printing \n on 7. So we need to print, this has to come after okay, so if the days, this is going to be our first statement right here. This is going to be our second statement. Right, else if I, right, is on this, then we print this. Else, let's just print a number. I think that's the logic we need. No, still not. Oh, shoot. Day on the 3rd day, 4th day, 5th day, 6th day. So if I is equal to 7, we want to print, so we do want to print the number before we go \n. Okay, got you. So I think we can just take this if statement here, put it at the bottom of this statement here, like so, and then we'll have to do this and wrap this here. Right, so if the days is, if I is greater than the current days allowed, then we're going to print spaces up until the very end, right? Now, this is going to be plus the start less than 1. No, plus the start. So yeah, less than 1. Shoot, I was right. Come on, trust your gut. Okay, cool. So now let's replace this with just 2 spaces. Let's get rid of this with just a 2. And now I think that that will... Now the thing is, though, is we want to print this. Else we're going to print... I know it's kind of a lot here, you guys, but we're going to print F just a regular space. And I think that'll do it. $31.3. Close. We're just barely off in our formatting here. Maybe it's print 1 space there. So if I go and do a point 2 here, so then okay, so then why it's going on my formatting here? Printing double space, single space. Oh, it's because of that. It needs to be triple spaces because we need to include the space that we're not getting there. Right, and then that'll do it, I think. No. Give me. There we go. Why'd that not work? Triple space. There we go. All right. Nah, why would I ask an LLM to write me code? That's lame as hell. Cool. Nice. Awesome. That does that one. I bet you there's probably a way easier way of doing it than I did it with just using the hint here, but I wanted to try to do it with just this base structure and then subtracting and ending the starts from the ends here. Thought that'd be kind of fun to try to do. No code, just give some feedback on my how do you spell this? Calendar script. I wanted to try a 35-day grid max and fill in dates. Let's see here. Correctly check days and start dates before doing any printing. Use a 35-day cells for 5 weeks. Good alignment to offset the index. Start -1. What can we improve? The 35 limit. Some months need 42 cells. Also, some months might need 42 cells, specifically months that start on a Friday or Saturday that have 31 days. Interesting. Right now you're using start copy gradients and the windows and cells but logic for so you can take a week. Okay. Well, I might have to come back to this one and give it another pass to maybe make it simpler. But I think I might be done for tonight because I'm kind of tired. We've been going here. It's a holiday, huh? We gotta take some. We got some way. Take some way to. Yo, Salakin, what's going on, dudes? Welcome back in. It's awesome to hear from you. What do you, number 4 solution has UB.
Time. I just walked 5 miles. I need to start the 3rd episode.
I know I was gonna end at 10 here.
I just walked 5 miles watching Will and Mike edit.
Okay, I was gonna stop at 5 here.
Bye, Larry.
Okay.
Tell them I said that.
I'm so close. I'm only on. I just have a couple more, but we'll have to take. These ones are gonna take me a little bit because they're a little bit harder here. So this program isn't a really the most important part of the for statement. Uses a variable I to count from 1 to n. Okay, let's see if we can take another stab at this. Right, so let's try it here. Okay, so else, really quickly, let's go for int I equals to one. We're gonna go from while I is less than or equal to the days. But the thing is we need to print all of the spaces for the starts, right? So we're going to say for, what do you say, while start, or we'll say copy start. And you kind of need to keep a copy of that. We're going to decrease start in a loop here. So while start, we're going to call printf and print out 2 spaces. And then we're going to take start and reduce it down by 1. Now we'll say while it's greater than 1 because we want to leave the 1 space on start for the actual entry of 1 for the loop to start. So this will print 3 spaces. So I'm gonna quickly just fill it with SS for now. Let's open up this guy here. And then let's say now we can just do it. Why was I doing it so difficult the first time? I think this is pretty easy if you just say, okay, um, so you're going to print if, no, so we're going to print f to a space, a trailing space, plus the number that we're on, right? So I, right, we're going to print I at this point in time. Hold on, so we have I is equal to 1. We're going to print a trailing space, and then we're going to print I. We're going to say if I plus the start copy, right, mod by 7 is equal to 0, meaning that this is the end of the week. So this would be, it'd be the start copy less than 1, right? So it'd be start copy is 2 plus the 5 days gives us 7. Okay, we need to make a new line here. So print f to a new line character. Let's try it. Oh. Okay, we're really close. We're really close here. What's going on here with our prints? So if I just make this space, space. Oh, because, and then this needs to print space, space. Because, no, because we need to print space, space for the first thing. And then do we include, because we're doing the singular space here, but we need to somehow include it into this one, but I don't want to make it 3 because then the 1 is going to have 4 spaces in front of it, including the one that it gets from this guy here. So we do space, space. Well, this is also getting spaces here. Oh. So maybe we don't want to actually do a leading space here. I mean, else do we just print a space? Oh. Okay, that's a good idea. John, why did you change your name? It's so much harder to read than that one. So if you do a trailing space, so what if we print? Okay, let's not print the number no matter what. Let's print in our conditional logic the number of %2 d backslash and insert I here, or just do %2 d space and insert I here. So there's a trailing space on that SS. Yes. Well, no, it's your doctor and plumber now. It's not John. Oh, it changed to tags like not the username or whatever people said. It changed to the actual YouTube like actual username rather than your display name. Oh, interesting. Well, your doctor and plumber kind of makes sense for your John name. Okay, cool. We got it there. Okay. Okay, fixed it. Nice. All right, let's get rid of the blank spaces here with just 3 spaces. Three spaces. Come on, jeez Louise. There we go. Nice. Hey, JJ Brady, how's it going? All right, we solved that one. That one was definitely the hardest one we've gotten so far. But we were able to do that one. Hold on. All right, I'm going to wrap it up here, you guys. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I know we weren't able to finish the programming projects today. There were 12 of them. We were able to finish 8 out of 12. They were just pretty, they were a little bit more lengthy than before as we're kind of starting to get into we're getting into loops and getting into like more, just not, like, it's not as like complex or like super difficult, but it's just more, more writing, more code, more analysis that we have to do. So the problems do take a little bit more, and obviously I'm still learning. So I'm trying my best to, work through them and just, go through my thinking and, try different examples as well that I think about to just get different exposure to different debugging techniques and just really try to give it a good effort without getting help from external resources. That's my goal, is to really try to work through this book without the use of AI, just to use AI only to confirm my own thinking, as I would to like a professor or a TA. As you guys saw, what I did is I wrote out my entire solution and then went and said no code. I fixed out, this is what I think is going on, blah blah blah, and I got some feedback saying, let's try it a different way. And I went ahead and tried it a completely different way, all alone, independently, and fed that in. So now, like, if I was just asking, if I was just asking AI about C, I would have never actually been able to write this on my own. I would have had to use, I would have never been able to, figure out what was going on without, working through these on my own and figuring out. So, oh, you got it. You're okay. So Locken's trying it too. He says he's doing it too with Monday. Oh, you did 31-3. You're getting Sunday, Monday. Oh, you're printing out the days of the week at the top too, like a header as well. That's cool. Yeah, this is my code here. So what we do is I just do some error checking to make sure it stays within bounds. Then I create a copy of the start so I can decrement down the start value. And then I can use the start value to actually increase onto I less than 1 of the start value. So I can compute whether that 2 space, so the start value is 3, meaning we're going to start on the 3rd day. So we have 2 spaces. So it's the start value less than 1. So it's 2 plus the total amount of days that we have, which is I. If that value mod by 7 is 0, meaning that it is a last day of the week, then we would do a \n instead of just a space. So that was a good little addition there. So anyways, we'll come back and finish these last 3 next time. I'll come back on tomorrow morning, probably early, and finish out these last couple of problems.
So you should do it then.
Thanks for your input. I appreciate you. That side commentary. Thank you. So I'll probably come back at around like 9 or 9:30 to finish up these last couple of problems, 9 through 12. So thank you guys so much for being here and joining me. If you guys would like to join me tomorrow morning, please subscribe and like the stream if you enjoyed so far. Again, I'm sorry we weren't able to complete all of them, but I really wanted to just take our time to go through and make sure we're doing them right, and going through edge cases and really figuring out what we're actually writing here. So sorry, AJ Brady, that you just joined. I really appreciate you coming in and hopping in though tonight. But thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hop in tomorrow. We have a awesome. So Lacken, you solved it. Sweet, dude. We have a break, right? So for us Americans, North Americans, we have a Thanksgiving. So I actually am off work for the next 2 days. So tomorrow's a holiday. So I probably I will be streaming. I'll do one tomorrow morning to complete the rest of these problems, and then I'll probably do one tomorrow evening to read chapter 7. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I appreciate you so much. I want to see you try the event of code. When does it start, AJ? Is it December 1st? I'll have to give it a try. Thanks so much for being here, you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe so I can see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Join the Discord.
Let's go.
Hold on, I haven't ended yet. Hold on.